Who's out here? Who's out here?
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. This chilling and unexplainable video was captured by Faisal, a 78-year-old adventurer with a profound love for the great outdoors. On his YouTube channel, Voyager Overland, Faisal shares breathtaking footage of his journeys, showcasing some of the most stunning and remote places in nature. Known for documenting the beauty of the wilderness to share with his audience, this time, Faisal captured something that he would never forget.
So Jean and I are out on yet another adventure, and last time we were out I caught some footage that quite frankly has me a little spooked, and I haven't quite decided if I want to show it yet. Now, it's not the first time that I catch something in the background while we're recording, like a deer that we didn't notice, or some hikers that we didn't see while we were busy winching the jeeps out of a mud hole or something. But this was different. Now, I don't understand what I saw and I can't explain it. So if you have seen anything like it, please feel free to let me know what you think.
It was a sunny day on October 26, 2024, when Faisal, his wife Jean, and their 2 grandkids set out on yet another adventure. Their destination? Ruby Falls, nestled in the breathtaking Alberta Rockies. They eventually set up camp, pitching their tents and settling in for the night. But before fully settling in, he decided to set up a trail camera.
Putting out a trail cam at night, hoping to catch some wildlife around camp while we're sleeping, and with my granddaughter who just loves wildlife. How cool could it be if I could show her some night pictures of what's walking around at night while we're sleeping? Now, I must admit, I haven't had any luck so far. I've put out the camera many times and never captured any footage. But tonight was different.
Faisal decided to set up his night vision camera, hoping to capture some wildlife footage for his granddaughter. Little did he know, he was about to record something far more terrifying and unsettling. Let's have a look at it. The camera captured a ghostly figure with glowing eyes that pierced through the darkness. The figure appeared to wander around their campsite, but what made it even more chilling was that, upon noticing the camera, it approached, its face coming fully into view. The next morning, Faisal was shocked by what the trail camera had captured. He had no rational explanation for the eerie figure, and the footage left him feeling deeply uneasy. He told his viewers he chose not to show the video to his grandkids. It was simply too terrifying to watch. When Faisal uploaded the video to his YouTube channel, it went viral almost instantly, sparking debate and speculation. No one has been able to definitively explain what was captured, only deepening the mystery. But what if you discovered it wasn't a ghost walking past your campsite, but a person with sinister intentions? That's exactly what you're about to see in the next video. This chilling video was captured by Dan, a YouTuber you might know from his channel, Exploring with Fighters. Known for his love of adventure and the outdoors, Dan often ventures into abandoned buildings, haunted forests, and uncharted locations to bring his viewers along on thrilling explorations. Fascinated by the paranormal, Dan is always searching for answers, hoping to capture something extraordinary on camera. But on this particular night, what he captured was far more terrifying than any ghost. It was November 14th, 2022, a cold, eerie winter evening, when Dan set out on another exploration, this time into the infamous Epping Forest, a location rumored to be haunted by dark legends and ghostly apparitions. Luckily, Dan wasn't alone. His good friend Flex joined him, as they had braved many adventures together.
Alright, so We're heading towards a church, and we're going to take a walk from there and find somewhere to camp. And I will be telling you more haunted history of the place. But I'm not sure what we're actually going to do tonight. Whether we're just going to do a stealth camp or not. We'll see.
As they arrive at the forest, they park their car and step out into the darkness. All they can see is an old, creepy church with a graveyard right next to it. The atmosphere sent shivers down their spines, but they pressed on.
That's better.
Look at that. That's creepy.
Well, if we go around the back of the church and camp in the forest there,
Yeah.
we can have a fire because we're not on the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the forest.
Is that noise?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
That wasn't a normal fox noise.
Could have been. I don't know.
It could have been, but that doesn't sound like a normal fox.
Right, come on, let's grab our stuff and set camp. It's getting cold already, so let's.
Right through the graveyard.
Yeah, if we walk through the graveyard, we'll go right to the back. Are you ready to go and find somewhere to camp? Full moon's beaming down above you.
They hear a strange, unexplainable sound, but surprisingly, they immediately brush it off, attributing it to a fox or other wildlife. Grabbing their gear, including sleeping bags and a tent, they ventured into the darkness, unaware of what was watching them. After finding the perfect spot, they set up their large tent, build a campfire to keep warm, and settle inside, chatting about life as friends do. However, their conversation is soon interrupted by more unsettling noises coming from the dark woods.
Dr. Pepper.
No. What was that weird noise? It just sounded like something way in the distance, but in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like a thump. Like a
Yeah.
thumping hollow sound. It's just the weird woods. That's what it is.
I kind of feel better in this tent.
I hope it's a fox. Sound like a scream.
The fox said.
Screams.
Stop now. Some weird noises.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is cooking the food in here.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll give it like 10 minutes and we'll start cooking it.
Yeah.
But it's an owl.
Huh.
Yeah, definitely an owl.
Unsettling noises catch their attention. They know they're in the woods, where hearing animal sounds is normal. But something feels off. A sense of unease that makes them want to stay inside the safety of their tent. And their gut feeling isn't wrong. But before we get to that point, they first prepare a nice meal and retreat to their tent. For a moment, the night starts to feel peaceful. Little do they know that peace will soon be shattered.
Pretty damn good. Do you like the broccoli?
I'm going to try some now. I've never actually tried it.
It makes it all worthwhile. All the hard work that went into it. Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear that walking around? What's that? What the fuck is that? I don't know. It could be an
something suddenly touches the tent with force, and footsteps can be heard wandering around their campsite. The boys are in shock, looking at each other in fear. They both think the same thing. Who or what is out there? The answer becomes clear all too quickly.
I don't like this.
They listened quietly while the footsteps grew louder, circling the tent as if the intruder had no intention of hiding.
Oh. The fuck? What was that? A branch was happening. I've been for a bit, but I haven't heard anything like that all night. That's what worries me. That was down there, wasn't it? Yeah. That's what they chilled. I'm gonna turn all the lights off now. It's freaking me the fuck out.
Dan and Flex turned off their lights, sitting in complete silence, their hearts racing, while the footsteps persist. The boys sit still for an agonizing 5 minutes, staring at each other, unsure of what to do, until they finally decide to take action.
What are we gonna do? Open the tent. Open the tent. Are you mad? Serious?
Flex whispered, "What do we do now?" Dan replied, "We need to check outside." Slowly, they unzipped the tent door, peering out into the pitch-black forest. But there was nothing, just the eerie stillness of the woods.
So I've got a CCTV camera up there. It might go in on there. I put it up there because last time we got a fox on camera walking around the tents. So I wanted to see if we capture any animals walking around. But whatever that was, it smashed the side of the tent. Yeah. But it could have legit footsteps. At first I thought, hold on, it could be like a branch falling off the tree, right? Mm. But the way it smacked the side of the tent, but then the footsteps, but then it could have been an animal. I'll have to check that CCTV footage.
How soon can you check it?
Tomorrow morning when we get back to the hotel.
Trying to come up with a logical explanation, they brush off the unsettling feeling, convincing themselves it was probably just a branch falling and an animal wandering around at the same time. With that thought, they decide to review the CCTV footage the next day at the hotel, an arguably irresponsible decision to make if you ask me.
Whatever it is, I think it's gone.
No, I reckon we turn the lights out.
Yeah.
And just sit in silence for a bit in the dark. Leave the fire on.
Yeah.
The fire's on like quite low.
What are we going to do about that?
Well, I would like to finish it. It's going to be cold now.
We try.
We've probably attracted something because of the smell of it.
When do we ever not attract something when we do the steak?
Maybe we should ban steak for a little bit.
Yeah.
Assuming the danger had passed, they returned to their dinner, reassuring each other it was likely just an animal attracted to the food they had prepared. After dinner, they settle in for a good night's sleep, still unaware of what the CCTV footage had actually captured. The rest of the night passed without further disturbances, and as dawn broke, They packed up and headed to a nearby hotel to review the footage. What they discovered sent chills down their spines.
So when something's triggered on the camera, it takes about 2 or 3 second delay, so I didn't actually catch whatever was thrown at the tent. But check this out, I did see this. In the bottom right corner, something comes into the frame. There was definitely someone there, and it looks like they just take a look what was going on. And as Flex pops his head out to take a look, they dart off into the darkness. Now this is quite a scary thought.
On the CCTV footage, a man could be seen walking toward their campsite, standing silently next to their tent. The figure didn't move. It simply stood there, watching them. As soon as Dan and Flex opened the tent door, the man quickly disappeared into the woods. Dan and Flex were shocked. They had assumed all night that the sounds were caused by an animal, but the footage told a far more sinister story. Someone had been lurking around their campsite, silently observing them. It seemed like the person didn't have good intentions. He didn't make his presence known, and upon realizing that Dan and Flex were still awake, he likely decided to leave. Dan and Flex were haunted by the thought afterward, but they were relieved to have made it out safely. One thing is certain, the next time they go camping, they will be more cautious and won't brush off strange occurrences so easily. It's important to always be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're alone in the woods, as you'll see in the next video. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you're enjoying it, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if we reach our goal, we'll be giving 5 lucky fans a limited edition item from our merch collection. For more information and how to join in, head over to our community tab for all the details. Right now, 93.3% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. It's free, and your support helps us create more awesome videos. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's move on with the video. Meet Charles, a YouTuber you might recognize from his channel, Son of a Bear. Known for his love of the great outdoors, Charles often embarks on adventures in some of the most stunning forests, sharing every moment with his audience. But on this particular day, what he captured on camera would send shivers down his spine, something he never thought he'd encounter. It was July 18th, 2021, a warm, sunny day in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Charles had been spending his summer immersed in the serenity of nature, waking up each morning to the sounds of birds and the rustling of leaves.
Welcome to the crib. This is a 10 by 10 wall tent that I live in for the summer. Let me show you around. I'm living in this 10 by 10 wall tent for the summer. It's on a 100-acre property outside of Asheville in the Blue Ridge Mountains. This tent has 2 of everything. 2 windows, 2 doors, 2 outhouses. The property has a farm, several houses, tons of dogs, animals, even a pond. I rent the tent on a 100-acre property that borders a national forest in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm surrounded by mushrooms and plants, and I go foraging every day and build campfires.
As Charles describes his peaceful surroundings in his vlog, it seems like the perfect spot to disconnect from the chaos of daily life. But little did he know, this calm oasis was about to turn into a nightmare. Later that day, Charles set out on a mushroom hunting expedition, one of his favorite hobbies. The forest was calm, the only sounds being the crunch of leaves underfoot and the occasional chirping of birds. But then, out of nowhere, his peace was shattered.
And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
A loud, blood-curdling scream pierces through the trees. The scream is close, as though someone is in terrible distress, possibly enduring unimaginable pain. Charles, visibly shaken, whispers, "I think it's time to go." Without hesitation, he quickly walks away, putting his camera away to prioritize safety. Thoughts race through his mind. What could that have been? This was private property, and he had rented the campsite. Who, or what, could possibly be out here? But before he could even think about it, something even more disturbing happened. Charles grabbed his phone and started filming, capturing the sound of gunshots echoing clearly on the audio. Could this be connected to the blood-curdling scream he heard earlier? Charles wasn't about to stick around to find out. He quickly made his way back to his campsite, shaken but determined to report the incident. Once there, he spoke with the property owner, recounting his harrowing experience. The owner was left stunned, unable to provide any explanation. To this day, the events remain a mystery. No further information has ever come to light about what happened in those woods. So, what do you think? Could the scream and gunshots be connected? Was someone out there in danger? Or was something darker lurking in the Blue Ridge Mountains that day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's unsettling to realize that danger can strike when you least expect it. This was true for Charles, and the same can be said about Dan's story, which you'll see in the next video. This is Dan, a beloved YouTuber you may know from his channel, Cursed Urban. Dan has spent nearly 5 years documenting his outdoor adventures, from serene camping trips to chilling explorations into the unknown. He's fearless, always ready to take on the next challenge. But on this particular journey, Dan would find himself in a situation unlike anything he'd ever encountered. A real-life nightmare he'll never forget.
Tonight, guys, we are at what is called the Forest of Sorrow. Yes, quite a, what's the word I'm looking for? A sinister name. Very sinister name, but yeah, that's where we're at. That's what they've nicknamed it, the Forest of Sorrow.
It all began on November 18th, 2024, a crisp winter evening. The cold weather didn't deter Dan from setting out on his latest adventure. His destination? The ominously named Forest of Sorrow. This forest is shrouded in mystery, infamous for its eerie atmosphere. Locals whisper about strange rituals, ghostly presences, and people who ventured into the forest never to return. It's not the kind of place most would visit alone at night, but that's exactly what Dan planned to do. Upon arriving, Dan parked his car, set up his tent, and decided to take a short evening walk to capture the beauty of the forest on camera.
All right, back onto the trail. So, man, dude, it's getting dark. I've had to open up my aperture all the way now. I'm about to have to start bumping up the ISO on the camera. And I am getting hungry. Decided to go get some.
After an hour of walking, night began to fall. With thoughts of a warm meal by the campfire, Dan made his way back to his campsite, unaware of the nightmare that awaited him. Back at camp, Dan built a fire and roasted marshmallows, enjoying the calm, peaceful evening. But the tranquility wouldn't last.
You gotta be kidding me. Dude, I just heard a scream.
Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed across the lake. Startled, Dan froze, listening intently.
Dude, that was that scream again. Who's speaking? That was that scream again. Dude, that's...
Another scream pierces the silence, confirming he is not alone out there. The sound makes him uneasy, but his curiosity gets the better of him. Hoping for answers, he decided to use his spirit talker to see if he could make contact with anything in the forest. But just as he began, the forest went eerily silent again.
What I'm going to do is I am going to put out this fire to the best of my ability. And probably take a quick trip down the trail.
Time passed, and Dan, feeling restless, decided to take one more walk along a trail before heading to bed.
Yo! What was that? What the... Dude, that sounded powerful. That sounded like something big is right up ahead.
A loud snapping sound echoes from the trail ahead, making him feel uneasy. Trying to brush it off, he ventures deeper into the forest. But then it happens again.
Oh, what the What was that?
Another loud snapping sound. Whatever made it must be something big or powerful. The realization sends a chill through him, and that's when the unsettling feeling truly begins to creep in.
Something just seems off tonight. Or right now. And I don't know. Sorry guys, I know I'm rambling and just like kind of carrying on right now, but it's just this is like just raw. This is like how I'm feeling right now. Like, I don't know, maybe I should go back. Go back to the safety of my campsite.
And so he does. After just a 10-minute walk, Dan decides to head back to his campsite, sensing that something isn't right. Little did he know, his instincts were spot on.
I just saw a light. I saw a light. Dude.
A flashlight beam, likely from another person, catches his eye. At first, it didn't seem too alarming, but the light is coming directly from his campsite. Panic sets in as Dan quickened his pace, rushing to get back to his gear before someone with sinister intentions could act freely.
I just saw a light right over here. I think I got it on film. Wait. I didn't have this chair over here. This chair is closer to my tent. And dude, my tent is open. What the No, dude, my tent was not. No, my tent was not open when I left here. That chair was over by the tent, and the tent was not open.
His tent is wide open, a clear sign that someone had been snooping around. It was clear their intentions weren't good. Thankfully, Dan had all his valuables with him, but the thought of someone wandering the woods with such intentions leaves him deeply disturbed.
Oh, man. Were they looking for that? Why would somebody be here? And why would somebody just take off if they were here? There was somebody just by my camp, looking around with a light, right by where this boot is, and somebody opened my tent.
With this haunting thought in his mind, Dan tried to calm himself, debating whether he should pack up and leave or stay the night.
But against my better judgment, since this is a camping video, I am going to camp here and hopefully stay the night.
About half an hour later, Dan checked in with his viewers, explaining that he hadn't heard or seen anything unusual since the earlier incident. Feeling reassured, he decided to stay, hoping for a peaceful night. Little did he know, peace was the last thing he was about to get.
Alright guys, I'm going to bed.
Just as Dan was about to drift off to sleep, he was jolted awake by a loud, unsettling, and unexplainable sound. He heard footsteps crunching on the dry leaves, heading directly toward his campsite. Shocked and on high alert, Dan's mind raced. Was this the same person who had been near his tent earlier? The footsteps stopped right beside his tent. Dan quickly switched off his light, his heart pounding. And then it happened.
There's somebody outside. There's somebody outside. There's somebody outside.
A flashlight beam pointed directly at him, catching Dan watching. Startled, he instinctively moved backward, hoping not to be seen. But he quickly realized that showing fear might not be the best option.
Hello? Who's out here? Who's out here? Answer me, who is out here?
Summoning his courage, Dan called out, making his presence known. To his relief, the person disappeared into the darkness of the forest. But Dan was shaken, knowing he was far from safe.
Alright guys, it's late. It's late now. I packed up everything, and I got it in my car. I was kind of just stalling to see if anybody else would come back by here. But I'm definitely going to make a stop at the ranger station before I leave, and let them know, like, hey, like, there's somebody, like, I found this, and there's somebody, like, creeping around people's campsites. Like, do with that information what you will.
Unwilling to risk another encounter, Dan decided to pack up and leave, prioritizing his safety over confrontation. Haunted by the experience, he reported the incident to the forest rangers, hoping to alert them so others wouldn't face the same danger. Dan shared that he had never experienced anything like this before, and was deeply shaken by the thought that some people in the wild might not have peaceful intentions. Fortunately, he emerged unharmed, but the lingering question remains: what were the true intentions of the man who invaded his campsite? These answers will remain a mystery, and the same goes for the questions they try to answer in the next video. For over a decade, they've built a reputation as fearless explorers of the unknown, venturing into abandoned buildings, haunted locations, and eerie wildernesses. But this time, they've taken on one of their the Pine Barrens. The Pine Barrens is infamous for its sinister reputation. Stretching across 1 million acres, it's steeped in legends of ghostly apparitions, strange disappearances, and the horrifying Jersey Devil, a creature described as part kangaroo, part bat, with glowing red eyes. Police officers, Navy personnel, and countless others have claimed to encounter this beast. But the Pine Barrens isn't just home to cryptids. Countless ghost stories haunt the woods, with rumors of strange rituals and lingering spirits. For Sam and Colby, along with their friends Josh and Seth, this seemed like the perfect place to explore. Now converted into a museum. The sun is shining, birds are chirping, and the group is laughing. A jovial growl emerges from the bushes nearby. The group freezes, listening intently, but the sound doesn't return. Dismissing it as an animal, they continue setting up their tent. They decided to venture outside, get into the car, and drive through the forest to see if the hauntings in these woods were real, and if they could pinpoint where the noises were coming from. After driving for about half an hour, they sat in the car, debating whether to stay or leave. But with the clock striking 3 a.m., they decided to tough it out, building a campfire and waiting for dawn to break. Once daylight came, they packed up and drove away, still shaken by the night's events. Are the Pine Barrens really haunted? The answer will remain a mystery. Did you find these experiences disturbing? Then let's move on to what Alfred captured on his camera while chopping wood for his campfire. This mysterious and unexplainable video was captured by Alfred Martinez, an avid outdoorsman who loves documenting his adventures. He's no stranger to the wilderness, but what he unknowingly captured on this particular outing was something far beyond anything he could have imagined. Did you see it? Let's slow it down for you. A ghostly, almost invisible figure appears to wander from one side of the screen to the other, moving eerily close to Alfred. What's even more unsettling is that Alfred had no idea this happened at the time. He told his viewers that he spent the entire night in those woods and didn't encounter anything unusual. It wasn't until he reviewed the footage later that chills ran down his spine. Alfred, shocked and unable to explain what he saw, decided to share the video on YouTube, hoping his audience could help him uncover the truth. The mysterious figure sparked a wave of theories in the comments. Some believe it's a ghostly entity. Others think it could be a trick of the light or even a camera glitch. But despite the speculations, the question remains unanswered. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.